Hey, good morning. Welcome to day 27 of these chats. We're going to draw a tarot card, an oracle card, and then we're going to ramble on about the card and what it means and anything else connected to it. And if that interests you, well, we've got 27 of these chats now, all in a row. So we're using the Lord of the Rings tarot deck by Thomas Heho, and the book's written by Casey Gilly, and the Saltwater Oracle by Laura Bowen. Both pretty cool decks. The Lord of the Rings is it's a pip deck, but unusually pips are easier to read in a reading rather than like a single card draw. So we're tending to use the traditional meanings and go by the guide leaflet, but let's see. So 27. 27. Oh my goodness, we got the 10 of Wands. I think that's the 10 of Wands. It's got 10 Ent looking things on it, Ent hands, the 10 of Ent hands. That's like, actually I was thinking about the 10 of Wands this morning. We had the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands, and we had the 6 of Wands, and I'm not sure if we had the 4 of Wands. But I was actually thinking of this card. Yesterday we got the hand, the Ent, the quick beam, and the hand of the Ent holding up the sun, which I said was my new camera. And then Dawn spotted a hand just like it, just like one of these hands, on the teepee that I had at the beach. So I put that photo in the last video. Now I'm going to get my little Ent holder here. It's very cool. If it will stay up that way though, we'll be able to see it. Look at that. Can you see that card in the picture, or is it out of the frame? Maybe I'll bring it a bit closer. Oh, no, it's fallen over now. Anyway. Oh, come on, behave. I did it yesterday. That. It doesn't want to play ball. Let's put it that way around. That's better. It likes it that way better. Well, let's not speak too soon. I've got my morning tea in my lovely pansy cup. Okay, so let's talk about what we think about the 10 of Wands before I have a quick look at the book. So the 10 of Wands is, in the Rider-Waite deck, is the guy with the holding the big bundles on his back and like really kind of worn down. I'll find that card in the Rider-Waite deck, which I have still got here somewhere. And it kind of builds up because like the 9 of Wands is again that kind of burden. So I'm just looking at the 10 of Wands in the astrology book here. So it's Saturn in Sagittarius. Okay, so that makes sense because Sagittarius is an air sign. And the Lord of Oppression. I should have remembered that one, shouldn't I? So Saturn, the ringed planet of limits, and we know that Saturn's a roadblock. Saturn's the one that is the one we've got to get past. The ringed planet of limitations and restrictions reigns in everything it touches. Here it burdens happy-go-lucky Sagittarius with baggage that's bound to weigh him down and slow his forward motion and progress. Like Sisyphus, the young man in the card seems condemned to roll a boulder uphill for all eternity, or in this case to carry an armload of burning branches across an open field. I sometimes carry a burning branch across my kitchen to light the cooker from the fire, or vice versa. Sagittarius is normally footloose and fancy-free. The adventurous horseman likes nothing better than to ride off into the sunset in search of new lands, new people, and new philosophies to explore. Saturn is also the planet of gravity. When Saturn assumes the rulership of Sagittarius' third decan, he brings the weight of the world along with him. It tempers his dreams and hopes and limits his travels. The young man might be carrying the burden of manifesting his dreams and ideas. Unfulfilled hopes weigh heavily on anyone's soul. He might also be struggling with guilt for past wrongdoings, like Marley's ghost, perpetually wrapped in a chain he forged link by link. Quite literal, a lot of literal references in this one. The Golden Dawn designers of this card called Jupiter in Saturn, the Lord of Oppression. For anyone who's unfamiliar with Saturn's limits and restrictions, the weight of responsibility can certainly seem oppressive. So, there we go. And, yeah, so that's the... We've got that one. You know the Rider-Waite card. I'll get it anyway. Or maybe I'll just get the Deviant Moon one, because the Deviant Moon one's pretty similar. But, thinking about it, the burden of expectation and the things we put on ourselves, because he can put those wands down. There's no one beating him, is there? So it's kind of a bit like the Nine of Swords, a Nightmare card. We give into that last bit, really, by allowing it to happen, by allowing our dreams to take over. But with the wands, that burden, that can be put down. So it is well, not false, it's unreasonable expectations of ourselves, which is why I really firmly believe in that. Step by step, take it easy. Beautiful. I keep showing it. Yeah. I love these cards. I'm going to use this deck again soon. So there's a lot of like worry, guilt. There's a lot of stuff we put on ourselves, a lot of burden that's oppressing us, making us feel heavy. Now this is the one I was thinking of. This is the one in the Deviant Moon. Now I really like this. And see, he's looking to completely forlorn. He's got one of his wands lit. He's sitting there like Kermit the Frog. I'm not at the bottom, I'm not at the top, but this is the stair where I always stop. And he's sitting by a tomb. So he could be feeling guilt of something, or the loss of someone that he didn't love enough, or he had too much expectation of himself, that he wanted to save their life. He's wearing looks like the medics, the mask that they wore in the plague in Italy and Venice. And he could be, maybe he could be a medic who's failed to save someone, but no one is putting that burden on him but him. And that is actually a very lovely, one of my favourite Nine of Wands cards. And we'll see what they've got for the 10 progression, because it's good to see the progression of cards. I really enjoy that. I might actually get the whole suit out of here. These are just pips, so it's nice to see well, there's our ace. It's nice to see them together. Sometimes to look at the cards, like there's the deck, is it the Cosmovisions, James? Oh, there's a tree out there on the tree. They're out in the Ko-Fi trees. The Prismavisions Tarot, when you can join all the cards together, all the scenes fit together. And there's other cards like that. I love the Page of Wands. And the Four of Wands. And the Three of Wands. Seven of Wands. King of Wands. Eight of Wands. That always reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood. There's my metal detector. very fond of the Wands suit in the Deviant Moon, the Knight of Wands. Who's missing? Is it the Queen of Wands? Oh, we got them all. Ah, the Ten of Wands, that's the one we were looking for, that's right. Okay. So then the Ten of Wands, he's like going on, he's steadfast there. He's like almost, I'm going to get to the end of this. I'm going to do this. So it's like he's got his burden, but he's moving onwards. So we'll start with the Ace and have a little look at these cards, because we've had so many Wands recently. We won't forget to do the guidebook, but we're going to do this first. So I want to get them in order. So there's that Ace, and then where's my lovely metal detector man? There he is, the 2. You will always see that card if you have the Deviant Moon as a metal detector now. 4. If you guys don't, if people were watching this randomly and haven't seen the others, I did a reading a few years ago and asked the card, should I buy a metal detector? And I came up with the 2 of Wands, and as you can see, it looks like a kind of ancient metal detector. That was a yes. So 4, where's the 5? I've lost the 5 of Wands. 6. Oh, maybe I didn't get the 5 out then. 4, 6, 7, 8, and that's the 9. We'll put it in your place. 10. And then we've got the Page on the Knight on the Beetle and the King. I didn't think we had the Queen actually, so they're taking up a lot more room than I thought. So I'm looking for the 5 of Wands and the Queen of Wands. I think we might, no, we had, no, with swords it wasn't, we had the swords, didn't we? Oh, there's the 5. So she's stepping out, let's put her with the King. So we've got the Ace of Wands, and that's the seed, the new baby, the little baby pea or bean. And that's the fire, the big inspiration, the beginning. And everything's beautiful, that beautiful crown, that's all of this blessing and joy are around for the taking. So then we've got the 2, and he's like preparing the ground to plant the seed. And I think we read about in the guidebook, he uses what he has to fashion this tool to dig up the garlic. So he's making good choices, but he's preparing the thing. So there's a natural progression there. We've got the seed and all the joy and the fire. And because we've got the 2 in sequence, he's digging up the ground, preparing the way to plant this seed and nurture it. Had we gone straight to the 9, then that would have been rejecting it and not seeing the good. So there's the Ace and the 2. And then we've got the 3. So we've got the 3, and they're starting to grow. And the 3 of Wands, they're seeing they've got to a certain point and they're admiring what they've planted and how well it's doing. And this is when 3 is the number when a third party, someone else comes into the equation. So there's them and the Wands, and then we get the other person, and this is the home, the house card that I love so much. So they've turned that into this stability, they've made this stable structure, and they've got something really solid out of that seed. And then we get descent, we get the 5 of Wands, where everything starts to go a bit crazy. And that's probably when the children are born. Then we have the 6 of Wands. And as we know, the 6 of Wands is the victory card. And we did get this one, because I remember showing you that version of it. But the 7 of Wands, they're coming another bit of a roadblock. So here comes Saturn to give you a bit of a hard time again. And then the 8 of Wands is that fast card. So there's messages, things moving. Traditionally, the 8 of Wands has got them. I'll show you it because that's quite a well-known one. And so there's the 8 of Wands, the traditional one, the Russian speed card. I've got the little Rider-Waite book, but where's it gone? Oh yeah, the 8 of Wands is so Mercury in Sagittarius, the 8 of Wands, and although she looks about to harvest, got the scythe going on there. But in that card, they could be taken off or they could be coming into land, I guess. But it's always, because it's Mercury as a messenger, and Mercury is about speed and forward thinking and quick thinking. Quicksilver. The card represents motion through the immovable, a flight of wands through an open country. Activity in undertakings, a path of such activity, swiftness as that of an express messenger, because Mercury was the messenger of the gods. And great haste, great hope, speed towards an end which promises assured felicity. That which is on the move, also the arrows of love. So it's moving. In this card, it's moving. And this, I guess, is kind of moving too. Moving forward. With cutting down the trees to put in the fire, to make firewood, or to build a house with. Another house, because they've already built a house. But the Nine of Wands is, again, when we get that, we hit that sadness, that burden. It's become all too much. Maybe we've just moved too fast, which is a good thing. So in the Nine of Wands, it's not as dramatic as the Deviant Moon one. That's the Nine of Wands from the Rider-Waite. The figure leans upon his staff and has an expectant look, like I said, expectations, as if awaiting an enemy. Behind him are 8 other staves erect in orderly disposition, like a palisade. The card signifies strength in opposition. If attacked, he'll meet the onslaught boldly. With this main significance, there are all his possible adjuncts, including delay, suspension, adjournment. So that doesn't look sort of forlorn and sad, but the Nine of Wands of this one is what I see as the one that's actually the overburden, the over-expectation, moving too fast and then disappointing yourself. And in the Ten of Wands, the traditional card in the Rider-Waite, so the Ten of Wands in the Rider-Waite. A man oppressed by the weight of the 10 staves which he's carrying, a card of many significances, and some of the readings cannot be harmonised. I set aside that which connects it with honour and good faith. It is oppression simply, but is also fortune, gain, any kind of success of these things. It's also a card of false seeming, disguise, perfidy. The place which the figure is approaching may suffer from the rods that he carries. Success is stultified if the Nine of Swords follows, and if it is a question of a lawsuit, there will be certain loss. So that could be the burden, or that could be all the stuff he's grown. And I guess it's the same here. I mean, this could be the big harvest, or it could be a burden he's carrying. But this one is definitely the one I think about having moved too fast and not had the expectations that they set for themselves. So there we go. That's the wand suit, and so the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is connected to the Moon too, and as we know, the Moon can be double-sided and delusional. Because the Nine of Wands is the Moon in Sagittarius. The Nine of Wands, he could be under that delusion that the Moon can do to you, like with the Moon card. Okay, I'll put these away. Thank you, Deviant Moon, again, for your loveliness. Put those away, out of the way, and then we'll go back to our leaflet. When I first started to read tarot, I was given a tarot deck, and it had a couple of cards missing. Didn't have a book. It was an old Rider-Waite deck. It was, I think, one of Mum's friends. Mum had cool, kind of hippie kind of friends. I had this deck, but as I said, I didn't have a guidebook or anything, so I just had to kind of go with the flow. I used to just get the deck, get the cards, and make up stories. And I would have put the cards all together in their suits and played with them. And doing that when I was first given a tarot deck is something that stuck with me. So I always have read tarot like telling stories, because I had that very early grounding. Whereas I think if I'd been given a book of meanings, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just looked up a card of, oh, that's the meaning, and I wouldn't have had that link and that storytelling. Although I am a bit of a natural storyteller, I think. I'm kind of a poetic soul. That was fun. Now, we'll see what the guidebook says about the Ent hands, the 10 of Ent hands. The 10 of Wands. Like bearing the one ring, some responsibilities only become heavier the closer we are to our destination. Although the end is in sight for you, instead of relief you may be experiencing elevated stress. The cards of the minor arcana represent temporary states, so fortify yourself with the knowledge that this is going to pass. You'll be free to enjoy your accomplishments. I'm not really feeling burdened, but I guess getting to the end of 30 days of videos has been fun, but it is also, it's not easy. And when I said before, when I set myself a challenge, I can't not do it. I'm that determined guy with forcing forward with his sticks. So all in all, I see the Ten of Wands as a good card in this instance, but it can be a burnout card. Again, 9 and 10 of Wands can be burnout. But it's all the construct, what we do with what we've got and how we approach a situation and how we look at a situation. This is why tarot is so amazing for mental health. I just don't know how people survive without it. So we'll look at these saltwater reading cards. Yesterday we got the oyster, and that was investment. And so far we've had guidance, investment, appearance. Yesterday we had the oysters. We had the penguins, trust. That was the first one we got. That was trust. Oh, the third one was the rough seas. And that was when I said that I was really, all the anxiety I had about making a video with me in it. Anyway, let's have a look. So we've got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got the starfish and symbols. I do like that. Aren't these cards gorgeous? So tomorrow, if we don't get the mangrove, we're going to do an honorary mangrove card, as I said, because I want to see what it says about the mangrove. I could just read it, but that's not fun. So there's our beautiful starfish in that dreaming style artwork. I'm going to put it here, if it will stay, so you can see it while I'm reading. Symbols. The starfish or sea star, as they're called, also comes in various shapes and colours, but the majority are shaped as 5-pointed stars. The star is a symbol with a long association to the 5 elements of fire, water, air, earth, air and spirit. When joined, these elements form the basis for magic. The star is a symbol of power, protection and purpose. The starfish reminds us that each day when we encounter symbols and signs, there are forces at work that are greater than those we can see. These symbols often recur and can come in many forms, shapes, numbers, songs, colours, smells, or signs and messages from nature that we may think are a coincidence. When we see them, they trigger something inside us which helps us understand a deeper meaning as we go about our daily activities. Often these symbols offer us proof of a different kind of connection. It may be a repetition of numbers or a song you hear on the radio that reminds you of a time or a person you feel connected to. These signs, when we recognise them, can be proof of loved ones who passed, are of the spirit world, succeeding in conforming His presence in our lives. The message from the starfish is one of synchronicity. The little symbols and signs we are shown each and every day. The starfish encourages you to pay attention now and take note of any seeming coincidences, repetitive symbols or patterns, because the universe of a loved one is trying to get a message to you, but you need to pay attention. Well, I'm not sure about that, but hey Mum, if you're there, I'll tell you. But I think it does actually underline what I just said about the tarot and how you can use it to deal with mental health issues and to guide you. And it's a deck full of symbols and pictures, and all pictures tell a story, and pictures are full of symbols, and the tarot is based on symbols. Now, astrology is all about, you get the symbols. So if you see something shaped like a moon, most people would automatically think of the moon. If you see a yellow circle, most people, because of the collective unconscious or subconscious, you would think of the sun. There's all these universal symbols and archetypes that are in our daily life, and we don't even know we're doing it most of the time. So I think that underlines what we've been doing with these cards and all the symbols and signs, like the hand reaching up and accepting the gift in the, not just in the teepee, but in the Ent yesterday and in this card today. And all the hands are reaching up and saying, yes, we want this thing, let's get this thing, let's do this thing. So I think that's pretty wonderful. I'm very happy with those cards today. So I've got a box to do. It's a tarot deck, but I might do that in the next video because I've done those wands now and I've not got a lot of battery left. So I think I'll wind this up. It's daylight saving this weekend, or whatever you call it when you put the clocks forward. I don't like that. I prefer it when we put them back. We get an hour, although I do love the dark mornings, but I do love the dark nights too. So, and when you've got little babies, it's hard to make them go to sleep when it's still light. So I hope you enjoyed our little trek through the wand suit. That was a lot of fun, and I'll find some. I've got a couple of connecting decks. I think the Secret Forest. Now that's the one with reversals, but I have got some decks that connect the pictures and the stories, or at least 2 pictures connect to each other. So at some point we'll have a look at those. Meanwhile, let's see what the day brings. And all my trees and wands are going to be happy, good ones. And all the wands, yesterday I was pulling up the brambles, but I have planted a lot of trees. The wands are really that suit, especially the ones in the Deviant Moon with the actual wood and the trees, are quite significant to me, because I have spent a lot of time trying to grow a wood and make my house a house in the woods. It's got a lot of trees, but I want a lot more. So I'm going to see you on day 28. Okay, bye.